Hi, I'm Kim. Today we're going to talk about a sensory-based grounding exercise called 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grounding exercises are great when you're feeling panicked, overwhelmed, deep need to escape, or like you're jumping out of your skin. You feel like you really need to ground yourself just before anything gets worse. The objective of what we're going to teach here today is one possible tool to help us in an emotional crisis, and we'll also do a little bit of troubleshooting around it. First, a little bit of background. Panic, that feeling of a heightened emotional state. Your body is jumping into action to protect you from, some danger, whether it's a tiger or a test. And it does so by activating a system called the autonomic nervous system. This has two parts. There's the sympathetic nervous system, which is doing the protecting. Also might have heard of this as flight, fight, or freeze. And then there's also the parasympathetic nervous system, which takes over when you're not on high alert. We call this rest and digest. This is obviously a much better environment for higher level thinking, the kind we need to address, our panic state. But the panic is making us go flight or fight, which okay, now we're stuck. Grounding is the concept of bringing us out of this dysregulated state back to earth, where we can start thinking slowly enough to get us out of our bad situation. Or maybe even realize it wasn't so bad in the first place. So, getting started. The world and your thoughts are spinning. Let's grab a hold of something in the physical world. Each step of this exercise is designed to take slightly more concentration than the one before. Ready? All right, let's identify 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can feel, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. Now take a deep breath. If that worked and you feel calmer, great. If not, there are lots of adjustments that we can try. If you can't remember the order of these, sight and sound are usually the easiest. Just do either first. Feel, smell, taste can be a little harder. You can do whichever one comes to you. Or just skip something. If one of the senses isn't a strong suit, skip it. Do 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 isn't a magic number. Use the last number for just a positive thought, maybe an intention or a mantra. If multiple senses aren't your thing, you can try just doing sight. Identify a rainbow of colors, 5 red things, 4 orange things, etc. Do just sound. Identify everything you can hear, perhaps with your eyes closed. If you don't slow down enough the first time through, try using higher numbers. Repeat it. Try to come up with new answers, but don't feel stuck if you need to reuse something. Or close your eyes once you're done with sight. Visual input can often be very stimulating. If none of these sensory exercises work for you, that's okay. I think it's important to find a grounding skill that works for you if you have a tendency to get overwhelmed, but there are lots of them and none of them work for everyone. A little more on why this works. Every time we engage a new sense, especially ones like smell or taste that we might not be continually conscious of, we make our brain slow down just a tiny bit to turn on the switch that says, okay, go pay attention to this now. The more switches online, the more input is processing, and the harder it is for your brain to get on that fast train to all-out overwhelming panic. Looking ahead, if you like this idea but find yourself having trouble with the implementation, totally fair. It's not always easy to access your need for grounding skills when you most need them. I find mindfulness really helpful in combating this. I also find mindfulness extremely difficult to practice when we're in an emotionally activated state. Solution: intentional practice outside of crisis. I like practicing the skill during a transition in my day. Pick a recurring event, maybe after school, before picking up the kids, as you head into a meeting, and use that to try triggering a daily-ish practice. The skill is pretty quick, but you may need to find a few different timings to find something that works for you. Thanks, I hope that helped.